Hello and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide, where today is the day that I have been waiting for. It's the 8th of November 2021, and today's the day that the USA border is reopening to international visitors for the first time in nearly 2 years. Honestly, I'm so excited to get back to the States. Travel is such a big part of what I do, and this is such a momentous occasion. There's been an amazing atmosphere this morning here at London Heathrow Airport, one for the history books really. All of the staff walking around with balloons and dressed up for the occasion for the USA border reopening. Of course, this is a travel vlog. I'm going to be documenting the journey on the first day of travel reopening to the USA. I'm going to be heading to Orlando via Philadelphia on American Airlines. Now, of course, there's been a lot more that's had to go into travel over the past couple of years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And in this video, I'm going to be covering all of that, exactly what you need to do, and yeah, everything that I go through on this journey entering the United States of America. Over the next 10 days, there's going to be lots of different videos coming up from the Universal Orlando Resort, Walt Disney World, SeaWorld and IAAPA as well. And honestly, I'm so excited to bring all that content to you here on Theme Park Worldwide. So get ready, it's going to be an epic and pretty emotional journey. Like I say, travel is such a huge part of this channel and what I do, and it's so exciting the fact that today's the day that the border is reopening. Well, we might be in November now, but the weather conditions are looking pretty good for today's flights. Virgin Atlantic aircraft there. Of course, a lot of the airlines are restarting flights to the USA today, and it is so exciting. There's a real buzz around the place. I'm so happy that I'm documenting it. The reason that I'm flying with American Airlines is because that was the cheapest. Really good flight price for today. And like I say, around £350 I paid for a return flight to Orlando. It's a direct flight on the way back, and like I say, on the way there, going to be changing in Philadelphia.
So I'm now just going to go through the process of what happened when I arrived at London Heathrow Airport, just to explain the travel and exactly how it worked. So in terms of my arrival, I made it to the American Airlines area to check in for the flight. However, before I was allowed to check in, the first thing they wanted to see was vaccination status to show I'd been double jabbed, and also as well a negative COVID-19 test. In terms of your COVID vaccination status, I just showed the NHS COVID pass on my phone. I didn't need to bring it in paper form with me. That was perfectly adequate. Along with that, I also then showed my negative COVID-19 test. Now, it has to be done within 3 days of your travel to the USA, and it also needs to be a supervised test, meaning that it needs to be done for you, or you need to have someone watch you do it on a video call. I went for that option. I did it on the Saturday, so of course a couple of days before I made the trip to the airport, because I thought it'd be much easier then. You know you've tested negative before making your way to the airport and doing all of that travel. So yes, I then got sent a certificate by a company online. They actually watched me do it on a video call, and I was good to go. Tested negative, and that's what I needed to show. So that was before making my way to the check-in desk. There's lots of different companies that do that online, so I definitely recommend searching around for the best price. Once I made it to the check-in desk, it was just like a usual trip, checking my passport. If you had any checked-in bags, of course, you would do that there. I didn't, because I'm just taking hand luggage with me in the cabin. And yeah, I was issued my boarding pass. All of that was done within 15 minutes. American Airlines were really well organised. It was then straight through security, of course, and then making my way to the departure gates. Now, I thought with it being the first day that things might take quite a long time to sort out, but it really didn't. Everything was really well organised for American Airlines, and I was really impressed with that. Upon getting to the gate, I thought maybe things might need to be double checked again, but they didn't need to be. It was just scanning the boarding pass, check of the passport, and on you get. Didn't need to check vaccination status or the test again, as that had already been checked before you were even allowed to check in for the actual flight. In terms of on the flight then, it was around 7.5 hours from London Heathrow to Philadelphia. We landed a little bit early, which was really good, as you'll find out in just a moment with what happened. It was a good job that we landed early, so I had plenty of time to get my connection. However, that was nothing COVID related, as I'll mention in just a moment. On the plane, of course, you do need to be wearing a mask throughout the journey, and it is quite difficult wearing a mask for that long period of time. You're only allowed to remove it to eat and drink, and then it's got to be pulled straight back up again. Everyone on the flight was definitely respecting that, which was really good. Respecting each other, respecting the cabin crew. You've got to think, we're lucky that travel has now reopened to the USA. Everyone was really grateful of that and following the rules, which is how it should be. So yeah, I was really impressed with that. Everybody on that plane had a mask on for the duration, unless they were eating and drinking. And that's just to respect everyone on there, especially the cabin crew. So yeah, that was really good. In terms of the flight, it was a really nice flight. American Airlines were great. Really impressed with the in-flight meal and the service on there. As good as plane food gets anyway, let's be honest. I'm not a massive fan of plane food, but yeah, you know, for what you did get, it was fine. Lots of drink service, which was good. And I was in a window seat, so it meant that I got some really good views. I could actually see New York from a distance as well, as you can see there from the footage. So yeah, it was a really good flight actually, making my way over to Philadelphia. So Philadelphia Airport also still requires you to fill in a customs declaration form. Worth pointing out, most airports in the States don't require this now, but Philly does. So yeah, I still filled that in just to make sure that I had that. They were handed out by cabin crew on the plane, and it only takes a couple of minutes to fill out. Everything was great with the flight until what happened next.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've already had a bit of an adventure so far on this trip. We landed about 40 minutes early into Philadelphia. However, we were stuck on the plane for an hour because there was an issue with the air bridge. And so they were moving the plane forwards and backwards. It was taking a while, and yeah, it ended up being an hour. Luckily though, I've got about 3.5 hours in between flights. So yeah, it's just killed an hour of that waiting here in the terminal, to be honest. So that's the thing, if you are doing flight transfers, make sure you leave a good couple of hours just in case things like that happen, as I could have potentially missed this flight. But luckily I've had plenty of time, and also coming here into Philadelphia meant that the queues were nowhere near as big for the US immigration, the US border. I waited 15 minutes straight through. Worth pointing out, they didn't need to check vaccination status or the test at the US border. That was all done, like I mentioned earlier on, back in the UK when I checked in for the flight. So yeah, I didn't have to show all that again at the US border. It was just the usual, the ESTA that you apply for online. Look at the passport, ask you a bit of information, and then off you go. So yeah, then I made it out of that section through immigration. No bags to pick up because I've not actually got any in the hold on the plane. And then of course I've come back through security through the transfers section and into the terminal, where I've just had some nice food here. And yeah, I'm going to be boarding my plane in about an hour's time. It's going to take me up to Orlando.
So before I knew it, it was straight to the gate, had my boarding pass checked and also passport, and I was straight onto the flight. Nice and easy, no extra checks needed, and that's because it's a domestic flight. We're now flying within the United States. I've already been through immigration in Philadelphia. In terms of the flight, much smaller aircraft than previously because it's a domestic flight, and along with that, it was supposed to take 2.5 hours down to Orlando. It ended up taking only 1 hour and 40 minutes, meaning that I landed in Orlando way ahead of schedule, and along with that, no border checks were needed because I did all of that before in Philadelphia. I know for a fact that Orlando would have been much busier, so I'm really glad that I did that, especially with it being the first day. Saved loads of time because of course when you're flying domestic within the same country, you don't need to have your passport checked when you come off and go through immigration. That was already done in Philadelphia. Nice and easy, and overall everything went to plan. Just a shame about the delay stuck on the plane, but you know what, it's only another hour that I would have had in the terminal, so luckily I had that time factored into the trip. As soon as I landed at Orlando International Airport, a really good friend of mine came to pick me up and drive me down to my hotel, which I really appreciate. In terms of transport options from the airport, a lot of people tend to hire cars in Florida. However, you can also get an Uber down to your accommodation. It'll take about 20 minutes or so to get down towards Universal and Disney. Well, it's been a long day and it's just gone 11 PM and I've made it here to my accommodation, the Rosen Inn, Lake Buena Vista. But before I show you around the room, just want to say how wonderful it's been to have actually just seen one of my best friends for the first time in 2 years. That's the thing with the pandemic. So many friends and family members have been separated because of the restrictions. But just to be picked up by my friend at the airport, see him again, and know they're going to get to spend some time doing some theme parks. Honestly, it really has been wonderful. wonderful. And that's been the highlight of my day, to be honest, just getting reunited with a good friend of mine again here in Orlando, Florida. Honestly, quite emotional actually, just to be back here in the States. I'm pretty tired. What a day it's been. But you know what? In general, everything's gone really well and it's been really efficient. The only thing that's not gone to plan really, which was out of my control, was the 1 hour that we were just sat on the plane when we came into Philadelphia. Because like I mentioned, there was something up with the air bridge. I think we might have gone too far forward into it, to be honest, because they were messing about reversing us. So, but yeah, luckily everyone was okay. We got off in the end. In terms of entry into the USA, the same as it always has been. Yes, you do need to make sure that you've got them details that I mentioned earlier, your vaccination status, and of course a test that has been supervised or of course done for you. However, yeah, you know, that's all checked back in the UK, so there's no real stress. You know that, you know, you speak with your airline, that's all done, you know that's sorted out. You've just got your usual entry procedures to go through when you get here to the States. So yeah, it's been really easy. For anybody that's coming over the next weeks, months, who knows, maybe even years we could be doing this, then yeah, things are absolutely fine. It's really nice and easy. Don't get worried about it. I was a bit concerned thinking, oh, I've done quite a few Europe trips, but obviously coming back to the States is a big thing. But yeah, it was absolutely fine, and everyone's been so warm and welcoming as well. It really has been a great day. And just to say that, you know, I've done it on the first day as well, the first day that people have been allowed to do this in nearly 2 years, and just to be back here at my home for the next 10 days. Yes, I've stayed here before. It used to be known as the Clarion Inn, but it's changed now to the Rosen Inn, Lake Buena Vista. No changes to the rooms or anything like that. It's also still got transport to the parks, which is great. So yeah, you know, it's ideal. It's really good. You can also walk about 30 minutes to Disney Springs. And then of course you got all sorts of transport connections from around there. There's another paid bus service out the front. So yeah, there's loads of transport options. That's why I stay here, and I don't need a car. But let me show you around the room. I might be really tired, but I'm also so emotional tonight. Honestly, just being reunited with a good friend of mine again. Amazing. I've literally just chucked all my bags down here for now. I'll unpack them shortly. But yeah, give you a little tour around the room. I've shown you this hotel a couple of times now in travel vlogs on the channel. Nothing's changed, but of course you might be a new viewer and want to see what it's like. But yeah, I've stayed here quite a few times now, and you know what? I've never had a problem with it. It's fantastic. You saw the balcony out there just before I came in. Of course, you got all the air conditioning system down there, chair just off here, and of course 2 big beds as well just there. That's the thing in America, they always tend to give you 2 big beds. That's something that we don't normally get back home. In America, everything's bigger, you know, and that's what I love about it. The rooms are so spacious. Safe down there, telephone, alarm clock, loads of storage down here as well. Little desk over there, that's the editing suite. All the vlogs will be edited just over there. As you've probably just seen, some toothpaste there because I forgot to pack some, but luckily this hotel does have a shop and it's open till late as well. So yeah, like I say, it's just going 11 o'clock at night, and I've just been to the shop and that was open. Yeah, TV's nice and big, loads of storage down there. Down here, got a microwave, you got a fridge there as well. Then you got all your coffee making facilities just up there at the top. Here's the sink just out here, and a hairdryer just over there as well. Over into the bathroom, toilet, nice big bath there. To be honest, I'm probably gonna have a shower just to have a refresh after a long travel day. But you know what? It has been worth it. I'm back in America. Here we go. And tomorrow's the day that I get to ride one of the biggest bucket list coasters for a long time. Well, there we go. It's the end of the travel vlog and the first vlog from this USA trip. I'm so happy to be back here. I can't wait to get to Universal tomorrow and share with you the first park vlog from this trip. So much coming up. Of course, riding Velocicoaster is just a small part of the trip because I'm going to be experiencing the 50th anniversary celebrations at Walt Disney World, and I'm so excited for that. Lots of other new attractions to get on as well, and yeah, I can't wait to share it all. And we're getting into Christmas over here now as well, so we've got all that to come up on the channel. But thank you so much for joining me. If you've got any questions, comment down below. I'll try my best to answer, but I've tried to explain everything as thorough as I can do in this travel vlog, because you know there is more to think about, but I love how the checks are done back in the UK, so things aren't really that different when you come over to the US border. And it was really handy actually coming in through Philadelphia and not waiting that long at immigration, because sometimes in Orlando you can be waiting a couple of hours in a massive cattle pen queue. It's like waiting for a coaster on one train. train. But yeah, like there was none of that in Philadelphia. It was straight through, nice and easy. So yeah, that was a benefit. I do look forward to going back and actually not having to do a connecting flight though, because it is a long day. It does take it out of you. It's been a full travel day today. But yeah, there's so much to come before that. I don't want to think about going home yet. We're barely just even getting started with this trip. So I need to get some sleep. I'm going to have a shower, get unpacked, get some sleep, and then tomorrow it's time to ride Velocicoaster at Universal Orlando Resort. Thanks for joining me, Sean Sandbrook, here on Theme Park Worldwide. That leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there, keep on riding. Tomorrow's the day.